Some of the things you use every single day were not originally made for comfort. They were made for survival. A microwave in your kitchen, the GPS on your phone, the internet connection you are using right now. Most people see these things as normal parts of modern life. But behind many of them, there is a much darker story. Because war has always forced humans to solve problems fast. How do you feed soldiers far from home? How do you find enemy aircraft before they arrive? How do you communicate when normal systems fail? How do you save lives when infection is killing more people than bullets? The answers to those questions change the world. Welcome to Peak Selects. Today, we are counting down 10 everyday inventions that were born from war. And number 1 may be the most important of them all. Number 10. Duct tape. Today, duct tape is one of the most basic repair tools in the world. People use it to fix boxes, cables, broken objects, pipes, shoes, bags, and almost anything else that needs a quick solution. It looks simple, just a strong strip of tape, but its story became important during World War II. At the time, soldiers needed ammunition boxes that were waterproof, strong, and easy to open quickly. That last part was the problem. If a soldier was under pressure and needed ammunition fast, a badly sealed box could waste valuable seconds. A factory worker named Vesta Stutt noticed this issue while working with ammunition boxes. She believed there had to be a better way. A strong cloth tape that could seal the boxes, protect them from water, and still be ripped open quickly. That idea helped lead to the wartime use of what became known as duct tape. And after the war, it did not disappear. People realized that the same thing that worked on the battlefield also worked in homes, garages, workshops, and factories. That is why duct tape became famous as the tool that can fix almost anything. It was not created because someone wanted to repair a chair at home. It became useful because soldiers needed a fast solution in dangerous conditions. Number 9. Microwave technology. The microwave in your kitchen has one of the strangest origin stories on this list. Today, people use it to heat leftovers, popcorn, frozen meals, coffee, and late-night food. But microwave cooking came from radar research. During World War II, radar became one of the most important technologies in the world. It helped detect aircraft and ships using radio waves. One of the key parts of radar technology was the magnetron. Percy Spencer, an engineer working with radar equipment, noticed something unusual while working near a magnetron. Microwave energy could heat food. That discovery eventually led to the first microwave ovens. The early machines were not small kitchen appliances. They were huge, heavy, expensive, and nothing like the microwaves people use today. But over time, the technology became smaller, cheaper, and common in homes. So the machine that now reheats pizza in 2 minutes came from technology connected to military radar. That is a strange transformation. From detecting enemy planes, to heating yesterday's dinner. Number 8. GPS. Now think about your phone. When you open a map and follow directions, GPS tells you where you are. It helps drivers avoid wrong turns. It helps delivery workers find addresses. It helps pilots, ships, hikers, emergency services, and millions of ordinary people every day. But GPS was not originally made so people could find restaurants or drive to the nearest gas station. GPS was developed by the United States military. The goal was accurate positioning and navigation. For the military, knowing exactly where something is can be the difference between success and disaster. Where are your forces? Where is the target? Where is the ship? Where is the aircraft? A satellite navigation system could answer those questions with far more accuracy than older methods. Later, GPS became available for civilian use, and now it is everywhere. Most people do not even think about it anymore. They just open their phone and expect the blue dot to know where they are. But that blue dot comes from a technology that began as a military navigation system. Number 7. Canned food. Canned food seems boring. Beans, soup, tuna, corn, tomatoes. It is one of the most normal things in a kitchen. But the reason food preservation became such a serious problem was war. Armies needed to feed soldiers over long distances. Fresh food spoiled quickly. Transport was slow. Refrigeration did not exist the way it does today. A hungry army was a weak army. During the Napoleonic era, France wanted a reliable way to preserve food for soldiers and sailors. Nicholas Appert developed a method of preserving food by heating it and sealing it in containers. His work became one of the foundations of modern canning. At first, this was not about convenience. It was about survival and logistics. If food could last longer, armies could travel farther. Ships could stay at sea longer. Soldiers could eat even when fresh supplies were not available. Today, canned food is used by students, families, campers, restaurants, and emergency shelters. But the original pressure came from a very old military problem. How do you keep food from rotting before it reaches the people who need it? Number 6. The Internet. This one needs to be said carefully. The Internet was not simply invented for war, in the same direct way as some other things on this list. But the roots of the modern Internet are strongly connected to military-funded research. Before the Internet became social media, streaming, gaming, search engines, and online shopping, there was ARPANET. ARPANET was developed through ARPA, later known as DARPA, in the United States. The goal was not to create YouTube comments or online shopping carts. It was about computer networking. How can computers communicate with each other? How can information move through a network? How can a system keep working even if part of it fails? Those questions shaped the foundations of the modern Internet. The early Internet was used by researchers, universities, and government-related institutions. Over time, it expanded far beyond its original purpose. Now, the Internet is part of almost everything. Work, education, entertainment, banking, news, communication, business. A technology that began as a research network became the backbone of modern life. So when people say the Internet came from military research, the accurate version is this. The Internet grew from government and defense-funded networking research, especially ARPANET. Not exactly a battlefield invention, but still deeply connected to the same world of military technology and Cold War research. Number 5. Radar. Radar is not something most people touch every day, but they depend on it more than they realize. Radar helps aircraft land safely. It helps ships navigate. It helps weather systems detect storms. It helps police measure speed. It helps airports track planes. It helps modern defense systems detect threats. Radar became especially important during World War II. Its basic idea is simple. Send out radio waves, let them bounce off an object, and use the returning signal to detect where that object is. That sounds normal now, but in war, it was a major advantage. Before radar, an enemy aircraft could arrive with very little warning. With radar, defenders could detect incoming planes earlier and prepare. During World War II, radar helped change air defense. It gave people something extremely valuable: time. Time to respond, time to organize, time to survive. After the war, radar technology continued to develop and moved into civilian life. Now it helps people avoid storms, prevent collisions, guide aircraft, and monitor movement. Radar began as a military advantage. Today, it quietly protects everyday life. Number 4. Jet engines. Before jet engines, aircraft were slower and relied mostly on propeller-driven engines. Then came the jet age. Jet engine development was already being explored before World War II, with major figures like Frank Whittle in Britain and Hans von Ohain in Germany. But war accelerated the race. Military powers wanted faster aircraft. A faster plane could intercept enemies, escape danger, and change the balance of air combat. The German Me-262 became one of the most famous early jet-powered fighter aircraft of World War II. It arrived too late and in too few numbers to change the outcome of the war, but it showed what the future of aviation would look like. After the war, jet technology moved rapidly into military and commercial aviation. Today, millions of people fly on jet aircraft every year. Business trips, family vacations, international travel, cargo flights. Modern global travel depends on jet engines. But the pressure that pushed jet development forward came heavily from military competition. The world wanted faster aircraft. War made that need urgent. Number 3. Synthetic rubber. Rubber is everywhere. Car tires, truck tires, aircraft tires, shoe soles, belts, seals, hoses, industrial machines. But during World War II, rubber became a strategic material. Natural rubber was difficult to access because much of it came from regions affected by the war. The United States and its allies needed rubber for vehicles, aircraft, ships, and military equipment. Without rubber, modern war machines could not function properly. So synthetic rubber production became a major wartime priority. Scientists, industry, and government worked together to produce rubber without depending only on natural sources. This was not a small problem. It was an industrial emergency. And the response changed manufacturing. After the war, synthetic rubber remained important in civilian life. Today, it is used in countless products. Most people never think about it, but every time a car tire hits the road, there is a connection to a wartime material crisis that forced synthetic rubber production to grow fast. Number 2. Night vision. Seeing in the dark used to sound almost impossible, but military forces had a very clear reason to want it. At night, visibility is low. Movement is harder to detect. Surprise attacks are more dangerous. If one side can see in darkness and the other cannot, that becomes a serious advantage. Early night vision systems were developed for military use, including infrared devices during World War II. They were bulky, limited, and primitive compared to modern equipment. But the idea was powerful: make darkness less dangerous. Over time, night vision technology improved. It became smaller, stronger, clearer, and more reliable. Today, night vision is still used by soldiers, but also by police, search and rescue teams, wildlife researchers, security systems, cameras, and even some vehicles. Modern night vision and thermal imaging help people see what the human eye cannot. A technology designed to survive the dark became useful in many parts of civilian life. It is not just about war anymore. It is about rescue, safety, observation, and protection. Number 1. Penicillin's mass production. Penicillin was not discovered during World War II. Alexander Fleming discovered it in 1928. But discovery is not the same as mass production. And that is why penicillin belongs at number 1. Before antibiotics became widely available, infections were terrifying. A wound that seems treatable today could become deadly. In war, this was a massive problem. Soldiers did not only die from bullets and bombs, they died from infected wounds. During World War II, the need for effective treatment pushed scientists, governments, and pharmaceutical companies to produce penicillin at a much larger scale. That changed medicine. Penicillin helped treat bacterial infections and saved many lives. After the war, antibiotics became a major part of modern healthcare. This is one of the biggest examples of war accelerating a technology that later helped civilians all over the world. The important detail is this: war did not invent penicillin from nothing. But war helped force the large-scale production that made penicillin widely available. And that changed the future of medicine. So the next time you use a microwave, follow GPS directions, open a can of food, connect to the internet, or board a plane, remember this: many everyday inventions did not begin as normal household conveniences. They came from pressure, from danger, from military needs, from problems that had to be solved quickly. War destroys, that is the truth, but history also shows that some technologies created or accelerated during war later became part of ordinary life. Not because war is good, but because extreme situations force humans to build things fast. And sometimes, those things outlive the battlefield. Thanks for watching. Subscribe to Peak Selects for more videos about history, technology, and the hidden stories behind the world we use every day.